Hello and welcome viewers. Today we are going to learn about Grafana installation in Red Hat Linux server, and with that we're going to monitor performance data. And for that I have three systems. The first one Matrix server, another two I'm going to use them as a client node. So basically to install Grafana you don't need PCP, but to manage or to have a centralized server, from there you can add a number of nodes, right? You need PCP. So that's why I have prepared one video in the in about PCP just before this one, and I just given the link in the description area. So please watch that video in order to understand better in this video which I'm going to show you. So basically what I've discussed in that video is, if I bring this slide up, I just talked about the introduction, what PCP is and when it was released, and there were like three components, major components, and you need to install PCP and you need to enable service also for graphical interface, which is PM chart by default provided by PCP. You need this package, right? So and to centralize and to configure centralized server and manage system with one location, there is one additional package you need to install. And there are other stuff like the command utility, which is very much important. I've gone also later in this slide. I have talked about the PM chart, how it looks like and how to capture the data with PM chart. I've showed you in that video. So in this video, the last slide, I'm going to show you how to configure Grafana dashboard, and with redis data source, how we are going to how we are going to analyze the performance data. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the installation part. So first thing what we have to do, we need to make sure few packages are installed, and this is one prerequisite package. We need to ensure it is installed or not. For my case, I believe it's already installed. So if it is not installed in your case, please make sure it is installed. Okay, so it looks like it is already installed. So next thing what I'm going to do, I'm going to install a few more packages. Okay, so let's do install redis grafana PCP. These are the three packages we need. Let's just go ahead and install these three packages. It is going to take some time. Let's just pause the video. Okay, so the packages are now installed. If I scroll it up, you can see there are three packages which is installed. Okay, so next thing what I have to do is I have to start the service. So let's just clear the screen. Systemctl enable PM proxy redis Grafana. These are the three processes we need to start. So I'm doing enable, which is basically going to enable the service and also start when I say -- now. It is Grafana server. Okay, so it is started and also enabled. So for PM proxy, I believe it was already enabled. That's why it shows up here. Okay, so next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to run Grafana CLI command and check the plugins information, plugins ls, and if I grab for PCP, I can see there is a plugin already installed, right? So that is required. And other stuff, if you would like to change any settings in the configuration, you can go inside this location. You'll see two files. For instance, if you would like to see the port information, which is default 3000, If you'd like to change it, you would be able to change it in here, right? But you need to restore the service once you've done that. Okay, so what next? So I'm going to also look for the port information, whether that is in listen state, because it is very much important. Currently it is that it is listening on 3000. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to access this from my web interface. So okay, so if I go here and give the IP 31 3000, enter. Sorry, what went wrong? Yeah, so let's do an HTTP here. Okay, so it is giving me a login prompt here. So by default, your user is going to be admin, and also the password going to be admin. Since I have already tried that and I set a password, and once I try to log in, this is how the dashboard look like. And for you, it would going to ask to change the password. You need to change it. Okay, so this is the Grafana dashboard look like, right? But if I go here in the dashboard section and click on manage, I don't see anything. I cannot see the system information. So how to enable those things? Click on this setting button here and hover over to plugin and scroll it down a little. Here you can see there are some information about data source. There are a bunch of data source here available, and there is some panels, also app here, which is performance copilot. This is what we're going to use it. Let's just enable. It is enabled now, and now if I go here, it is the same thing. We have to do one more thing, which is data source. So now click on data source, and there are few data source available here, so many of them. So for now, what I'm going to use is this one, PCP redis, and click on this URL and select the default one, which is localhost, and the port 44322, which is by default. If you would like to change it, you can change, and also you need to allow it if you are running firewall. Okay, for my case, firewall is disabled, so I don't need to allow that. And click on save and test. All looks good, it's working. So now if I go in here and click on manage, okay, so I see some other information about VPF trash and vector also. Let's just get rid of them. Since I tried them earlier, that's why it just popped up here. But for your case, when you add the PCP, it was just going to be this one, right? So you can click on this and you would see the information. It is taking some time, we'll have to wait. Let's go to home again. Okay, so this time let's see whether I can able to see the information or not. Okay, so it took some time to fetch the information from the server, and now I can see the dashboard, which is basically redis data source, right? So here I can see the host information, which is metric server, and the first portion is about the overview. You can see the memory utilization here, and you can see the CPU information. If I scroll it down a little, you can see memory information again, which is used, cached, and the free ones. And we can see some paging information as well. And in the network section, we can see throughput and throughput out and in, and this related information down below, I believe. Yes, we can see this information here. Yeah, so this is how the dashboard looks like when you are going to enable the redis data source. And you can also see here, which is basically select 6 hour data, last 6 hour data. I can select the recent one, which is just 5 minutes ago. If you would like to see some information, and if you wanted to refresh this in every 5 seconds, you can change it here, or if you wanted to increase it, you can do that also. So this is the live data which is feeding from the server. So this is how the Grafana looks like. I'm going to add some additional data source. Just click on discard and instead the PCP redis one, which will give you a similar dashboard, but uh, there are some other advantages which when we are going to use the data source BPF trash. That is also a very useful data source, right? And in the next video, what I'm going to show you how to add an additional client system. So currently it is just a metric server node, which is the centralized one. We are going to use it, and the other one, if I bring up my session here, the other two servers, metrics client 1 and client 2, which we are going to use it, I'm going to add it in the Grafana, right? So for this one, uh, I believe that's it for this one. Okay, I'm going to show you the additional thing in Grafana and about PCP on my coming videos. Thank you so much for watching my video. Have a good day.